Hey, so it's been a while since I did a voiceover for a training video, so I thought I'd show just a sort of typical dressage training session with Savannah. A lot of people have asked me, well, she's only 3, like, how do you keep her in shape and learning without overdoing it and straining her? So, as you'll see from the video length, our training sessions are really only about 15 minutes long when they're mounted sessions. If we're doing groundwork, it might go a little longer, but really I like to keep the riding sort of short and sweet. Just give her a couple of simple things to work on, a couple of new things, a couple of review things, sort of keep her mind working, and, end it while she's still thinking, oh, is that all? Sort of before she gets burned out and decides that work is hard and she hates it. And she's a smart horse. She's a thinker, so I think she does appreciate these little puzzles I give her. She's always right there at the gate, like, what are we working on today? So far so good. What we worked on today in specific is an increase in impulsion and the beginnings of sort of getting her to move back to front, as it were, sort of pushing forward into the bridle. If any of you watched our first show vlog, you would notice, and the judge commented, that she was very behind the aids, and that's sort of normal baby stuff. She's 3, we haven't really worked on contact a whole lot or at all yet, so I thought I'd start exploring that a little today. So what you'll see me doing is, you don't want to dive right into full contact, both hands, squeeze and pull. That's a good way to get a horse to rear up on you. So what I'm doing to get her thinking about this idea of contact is sort of a bending exercise. What we're doing right here is just a little bit of laterals. I like to sort of warm her up with some yield the hindquarters, yield the forequarters. Just get her really thinking, moving off the leg. A little bit of light yield. Because, if I can't get her to move off my leg, how am I going to get her to move into the rein? So I think I posted a GIF a while back of her first side pass. You can see she's figuring it out a lot better now. So just a little refresher for her. Leg means move off. And then once she's doing that pretty well, what I'll start doing is asking with a wide rein, I'm going to start asking her to bend to the inside. And you'll see it more at the trot, but her tendency at first is to resist the contact, of course. Most horses are going to do that. And what she sort of does is she gets heavy, she sort of tenses up her neck, and you'll see her bulge out with the opposite shoulder. Like, she'll actually start to sort of side pass away from the direction I'm trying to bend her in. And, that shoulder bulge is pretty typical. A lot of young horses do that. So what I'm going to do is counter that by on off with that inside rein, and then I'm going to bring my outside calf to press her back inwards, and when I get a nice sort of bend where she's not drifting away from the contact, I'll give her a nice little release. And as I said, you'll see it more at the trot. Everything's more dramatic when you go faster. But what you'll start to see is that give and take, when I sort of release as she gives, she's actually going to start stretching longer, stretching, low, and turning her nose in a little on her own, and sort of, they call it seeking contact. So we'll see a little bit of that. You see there, I used the Dressage Whip a little bit to sort of reinforce, because, her shoulder's bulging against my leg. I apply the calf. She's still bulging against my leg. I give her that little tap on the shoulder, like, hey, no, really. Leg means move away from this leg. And she, she mostly understands it, but she still gets a little resistant sometimes. See that bulge again? Now that we're at the trot, everything, as I said, is going to get sort of accentuated, exaggerated. And I took her back through to that corner is what that was. Because she bulged out so badly, I actually looped her back around to re-examine that spot. So we're back up at the trot, and my dog is barking at me. So you can see again that shoulder is kind of bulging. So I'm going to circle her in that spot again, see if I can get her to bend without drifting away. Unfortunately, that's off camera. I need a better camera. And there she's getting behind the aids again. She's losing impulsion. So I'll give her a little squeeze. Try to bring her forward. Yeah, we totally lost impulsion there. So yeah, whenever I find sort of a problem spot, I like to work on the problem in that spot. Because, you know, sometimes it's just a matter of timing, sometimes it's because something was distracting there. But just for the sake of consistency, wherever we have a problem, I like to try to work on it in that spot. So there you saw that shoulder bulge. She sort of tensed up her neck against my request for her to turn, and she drifted way out on that corner. So we're going to try that again. I don't know if you can see my calf bumping up in those corners as I go by the camera. And that time, a little better, but she's still pretty sticky. So I took her in a little circle. You know, turn means turn. And what I'm asking with this rein, it's not just a pull back. It really is you sort of open it wide, especially with a young horse that's just learning. I'm really trying to open it there. That was better. She listened to my calf that time, and I was able to push her from the outside leg into that inside rein. And I know usually you hear inside leg to outside rein, but that's sort of for a horse that knows what's up and knows what they are doing. That's sort of to get them straight, to get them into a good balance where you can support them on the outside. Right now, she doesn't even know what any of that means. So right now it's just wherever she's drifting off to, leg there, into whatever, you know, the opposite rein is. So right now she wants to drift outwards, so we're going to do outside leg to inside rein. And I gave her a walk break there because that corner got, you know, there was a big improvement. The first couple were awful, and then she did better. So we do a walk break, then we'll go the other way. You'll also see my downward transitions I try to do really from the seat rather than from the rein. Right from the beginning I try to train from the seat as much as possible to keep the horse from getting, you know, heavy on the bit. We're losing our energy. I don't remember if I gave her a little tap there. I might have wake her up. So there I was sort of trying to turn her, and you can see she went into that lateral movement. So again, that's part of the problem with her being so behind my aids, is instead of moving forward and turning, she'll just sort of get stuck and start spinning in place. She'll move off the leg, but we don't have enough forward to turn it into anything. So really getting forward motion is a big part of this exercise, sort of keeping her in front of the aids. Which she really doesn't do yet. And part of that's going to be when I ask her to go forward, I give her a gentle squeeze, a consistent squeeze. I hold on to it, I give her a couple seconds, then I give her a tap, and as soon as she moves forward, release the squeeze. I don't want to do any kicking. I don't want to, you know, dig my heels in or anything. I just want her to learn squeeze, no, okay, tap, because I want that light squeeze to be what she understands to mean go forward. So this side she's better on. All horses are, you know, left-handed, right-handed in their bend. They have their favorite side. So she's bending a lot better to this side. She's giving to my calf a lot better. And part of that might be that it's the second side we're working on. You saw that nice stretch there. I think she's going to do it again in a minute. But I'm pushing in from that outside leg. That rein is there to catch her, and then every time she responds to that, she's getting release. So that's causing her to sort of stretch out and look for that there. Look for that moment where she's balanced between my leg and my rein, because that's when she's getting that little release of me moving my hands forward. So I took her right back the other way, because this way went so well. I thought, well, let's see if we can carry this over to the other side, now that we're really getting somewhere. Now that we're, she's responding really well. Oh, drip in the dirt. So we sort of chipped away at this side before, then we had a really good success on that side. And there, she's starting to get it on this side too. Starting to really find that spot between my leg and rein, where she can sort of stretch down and find the contact and feel balanced, sort of feel like I'm supporting her and holding her there, and she can sort of stretch into it. That's sort of the best way I can describe it, is, you're counterbalancing them in a way. You're sort of providing them a little, I don't want to say resting spot, because you don't want the horse to get heavy and actually be leaning on your rein or leg, but you are sort of propping them up a little. You're saying, between these two things is straightness, and I will help you stay there. I hope I'm making sense. I did not plan this at all. I'm just sort of trying to say what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And there you see I slowed her down with my seat. She did a really nice stretch there, so I thought that was a good point to stop that exercise. So I sort of sat deep and let her come down to a walk. Give her a nice long rein, let her stretch out. And you'll notice when we're working on this contact exercise, I'm not trying to bring her up into a frame. I'm not trying to collect her. We do not have the impulsion for collection. We are not ready. It's stretching into contact. It's a long rein contact. So I'll just finish her up here with a couple more laterals. I like to do the laterals as a warm-up and as a cool-down, just to keep all those little nuanced leg and rein aids sort of fresh in her mind and precise, because those are the building blocks of any of this stuff, Leg means move over, rein means do this. All these little fidgety things you do in laterals, I think they're very important to then connect with forward motion and help the horse understand what you're doing later. So I did turn on the forehand. Now I'm doing a little turn on the haunches, or I guess it's kind of a walk pirouette. She hates that noseband. She's itching at it. I put fleece under it because I thought maybe that would help, but she just really doesn't like wearing a noseband at all. And it's loose and everything. There's fleece under the chin of it too, because for anyone following my blog, she actually hairline fractured her jaw a while back, so there is a bump there, and I worry about it bothering her, so her noseband is loose, and I put that little fleece pad on her chin to help out with it. But mostly I think it just annoys her to have something on her face. She prefers the Western headstall. Poor fussy baby. You can see everything I do is very exaggerated. I'm opening that rein wide, I'm leaning over, just, because this is all new to her, I want to really exaggerate my aids so that it's very clear to her what I'm asking. And then here you can see her sort of puzzling through, well, which thing are you asking me? You sort of see the wheels turn. She'll say, well, this rein means this, and this means this, and she eventually puts it together. Oh, side pass. And the more we practice it, the more each sort of specific cue will become clearer to her, because it's a lot to keep track of. It's a lot of little aids, and the differences are pretty subtle. So she's getting better at it, though. And then I'll stop her with my seat a little bit here. Not yet. I was wrong. I don't even remember what I do. But I will. You'll see I don't pick up on the reins at all. I just sort of sit heavy. There. I knew I was going to do it eventually. And done. And that was, maybe 15 minutes of riding, all told. I'll take her in, I'll hose her off, hose her legs. And, just short and sweet.